Hello guys, my name is Ish and thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Oh, it's never over till we both walk away. Although my tears are running, I'll be staying in place.
Every song that I make, I learn new lessons, and then with those lessons, I try to kind of push forward and put them into new songs. And I just learned the correct lessons for Right Where You Left Me to come out. And with the help of Matt and John Samuel, we were able to really bring that to life. Also Hindia. I think my music is best described as probably all pop left to center, but with all pop production with very pop centric melodies. And lyrics go back and forth. Sometimes I'm pop, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes there's going to be really strong producers who have very, very unique and very specific sounds to them. And I think it's the artist's job to be able to utilize that to fulfill their story. Usually when it becomes the other way around and the producer is making the song for you, it's just hard for that song to resonate. I think it's a 50-50 thing, not a 70-30, not a 80-20, not a 20-80 thing. It has to be a 50-50 thing. I remember before I went to Korea for I think the closest resemblance would be like an American Idol, but for Korea, and that's how I started my career. Before that, I had this Instagram with like 10,000 followers, and I was like, oh man, I'm so famous, blah, 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 being 17 and whatnot. And then they told me to delete it when I got to Korea because I had to start training and they wanted kind of like the identity to restart. I honestly don't know the reasoning, but I was like, no, like my 10,000 followers. But they were right. As soon as I came out with the rock band, I think like overnight we had 100K, I had 100K followers on Instagram. And that's just kind of like the name of the game. Sometimes people know better than you, even though you can't understand it at that point. I'm on Twitter very often. One thing that I feel like I did do for a while up until recently was I Twitch streamed. And with that, I was able to kind of get their opinions on things. If there was problems in the community, I was able to kind of address it. Yeah, I think I've tried to be as hands-on as possible, but sometimes the line gets blurred. And I think that makes it a little difficult to always be there.
Let's not make it complicated. I don't even gotta say for you. I'll be right here, right where you left me.
I'm not really into big production and that might be because I'm broke, so I just don't have the money to pay for 300 grand music videos. But for me, honestly, I feel like the idea of a video, if it's good enough, it'll get the point across. And even with this video, I had the help of Lucas, a director that I work with very frequently, very talented, and came up with the idea, a rain cloud that follows me. There was a whole thing where I sent that to a storyboard writer that I knew, and I asked her to write a story for me. And then she kind of wrote a story, brought it back. That's going to be unveiled on tour. But then Lucas took that story and kind of made it a whole thing with the scenes, and that's how the video came about. It was very real. That expression was real. It was cold as hell outside. I remember because it was a garden hose too. And then it was just cold garden hose water, and I was in that bed for like 30 minutes, just like in a puddle of cold garden water, just shivering my ass off. But it was the whole thing. But honestly, after seeing the video, Lucas did a great job on it. I'm kind of glad we got the shots that we did. The new song that I had called Burn, I'm actually featuring Salem Mulis, an incredible writer that I really respect, one of the most talented writers that I've met in LA. And the song came about, I was walking to my car. That's kind of how most of my ideas come, like the walk to my car the morning of the session. And I was thinking of this was a couple days before. I was thinking of a concept, and I just feel like I hadn't heard recently, at least, anyone use like burn baby burn, the phrase. And I was thinking, damn, this is interesting. Maybe we can go and write this. And then I brought it into the room with Salem, and then they killed it. So Shawn Mendes is an artist that said it the most coherently for me while I was still in Korea. He said, I think the best way to write lyrics is to use phrases that people use in real life, and that makes it just way more relatable, more easily discernible, better understood. And I really gravitated towards that piece of advice. And I feel like that's kind of how I was taught to write in Korea as well. So I've been using that theology and just using phrases, and every time a phrase that I feel like could be cool or interesting or some kind of double entendre pops in my head, I write it down on a notepad and then I'll hold it for later.
Please don't forget me. Please don't forget me. Don't you ever.
It's once an idea pops into your head, then there's like 4, 5, 6, 3 verses that are already in your head with the idea. Because if an idea doesn't have something to, like some kind of like twist or a narrative plot to like fit it, then it's not really an idea. So it's rarely ever just one line unless I don't have time. It's usually one line with a couple pages of text under it that just kind of like flow. Yeah. I write in rhymes too, just because it just made it way easier to write songs that way. So it's like I just kind of like take 1 or 2 lines and I'll usually just restructure, maybe reword some things, put in some words, take out some words, throw in different ideas. And the basis of the song is usually kind of just there on the note. I'm just always looking to further push the agenda of my growing genre of music. I feel like I've been exploring a little bit of everything, but especially with Burn, I've been just really messing with like this pop with rock-centered guitars. And even if you listen to Burn, like Burn was definitely an interesting one. And to further explain what I'm talking about, usually when I go into the studio with Inverness, he has me pick up an instrument and just start playing. Like that song, for some reason that day, I heard a song, I think it was Black Odyssey, and he had a bass line that fucking ripped. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna try something in that groove and rhythm, but I'm just gonna strum it. And that's kind of how that came about. So I feel like as much as I say I like pushing the genres, I'm kind of always starting from the same base of like the shit that I like. So yeah.
I'm still mad, and I shouldn't be, 'cause it's sad. What you did to me, it's so bad. Should be dead to me, but I can't help that.
I have my Asia tour, which I haven't been back to like countries like the Philippines or Thailand in a while, so I'm going back there, as well as a lot of other stops. So I'm doing Asia, and then after that I'm doing NA, and then with my NA tour in between, I have like 6 dates with Imagine Dragons where I'm opening for them, which is an incredible honor. And I've always had this bucket list venue, the Hollywood Bowl, for a long time, because that was the first place I saw John Mayer, Jason Mraz, etc., etc. And I've had a few opportunities to perform there, but they always got canceled. That's the thing. So this time, even though it's an opening act, which I'm very thankful for, I get to finally be on that stage, and I've been waiting for this for a long time.
You live in a castle in the sky. Does my baggage ever make it hard to fly? So high up and I'm feeling out of touch. Promise me I'm not too much, not too much for you.
I feel like I'm kind of doing the thing, and it's hard to gauge sometimes when your stream numbers, like, yeah, they grow and the graph goes higher, but it's sometimes hard to gauge and fathom in like reality. But when you're there and you see more and more people and more diversity, you're just like, whoa, I guess it's kind of reaching people, and that's cool. Hi, my name is Ish, and you've just been buzzed.